A popular and well-known musician, Swazi, or the Swazi, who was a pastor, and I say was because according to word on the street, Swazi wants to resign from the ECG church. Now, Swazi has been at ECG for a minute. She has been with Papa Bush for a hot minute. For most of us, we only knew her when she was at ECG. She is an award-winning musician at that. You've seen her at crossover thingy and whatnot. Now, I don't know if I saw her at the crossover this year, which would explain this particular message that you guys are seeing on this particular episode. Someone sent me a message and said, Ricky, did you hear that Swazi apparently tendered her resignation over at Papa Bush, and she says she wants to and go elsewhere. So I thought, let's talk about the subject matter, but we have a lesson also for ourselves as well as we live. As you have heard me say, this channel is here not only for just thinking, but it's also for the biblification. We call it biblification to get the Christian thinking as the Bible would have them, to value the principle that the Bible teaches them. Sexuality Show, daily Christian commentary videos, other episodes done today will be down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out over there. And so, before I talk about the letter and what the letter actually says, I want to remind you guys of a different figure who was at the ECG and she herself left. You guys remember Masabata. Masabata was there. You would have never thought Masabata was going to leave ECG. She left. Bushiri's brother-in-law, the man them who was married to his sister, to Bushiri's sister, he too, Tana, left. I showed that local South African pastors have been getting removed from local branches. They get moved around to a point where they are nowhere in places of authority within the church. Whether what she's saying in the letter is what's the core root of why she's leaving, Asaz Lok, we're not God. But one thing we know is there are people who sing songs. You may sing ECG song in your mouth for a very long time, but there might be a day you turn around and realize, okay, you know what, might want to sing a different song by now. After all, loyalty, or the message of loyalty, has been sung so much that people have forgotten that the whole reason we are here is for the worship of God. The center is God. It was never your pastor, your so-called papa, or whatnot. So this particular letter was sent to me about 2 days back, and I hadn't seen it anywhere. I didn't see Swazi herself post it. It's not clear if this is still something that they're discussing internally or whatnot, but there is actually a reason. I saw Solomon also posted it. So maybe the same person who sent it to me sent it to him. When I got it, it had all the branding and thing, but apart from the branding, it seemed to have been addressed only to leadership. So it's not a publicly thingy. But there's something that's said inside the message that's making me read this. So should later it come out, they say no, that Swazi is not leaving the church and whatnot. Should it come to that we hear that narrative? Because in a lot of these churches, maybe they might be displeased with one or two things or something, and then they give a reason that they give, but they are really displeased with being there at that point. And then those things get resolved now once it becomes clear that, hey, I'll leave. So just in case that's the case, or that becomes the case, or you start to hear that, there is something inside there that's making me read this or even report this story. Okay? There's something inside the message that tells me it might be real that she's leaving. Found reflections and prayers, I would like to communicate what the Lord has laid upon my heart, my spirit. It says, since the passing of my mother in glory. You see, that part is the core reason of why I'm making this video. Should it come out that they want to say, no, she was not living, here you are misinforming people, I want to be very clear that that's a specific thing. And if someone put that in there so that they can mislead us, you are a wicked person. You are wicked. You are a wicked past. I've had this burden in my spirit to continue the legacy of Pastor Emmanuel and also Pastor Tandi Dlamini, which is her parents. My parents, in re-establishing their ministry and divine purpose, they state the name. It says, confirmation and signs came when I came across a note that my late mother had penned to the prophet regarding the same earlier in 2025. So she found this letter early last year that kind of hinted at this. So this message would be with Papa Bush I am getting. And so with that in mind, that a mother might have had this desire that she would continue the parents thingy, so I humbly request to preserve the legacy. And I don't know if he declines. Does that mean she doesn't? This has been a prayer for the past 3 years, and so it is not an impulsive decision. So I pray that the Lord will make it favorable in your sight. And so this was posted January this year. 2026 already has a lot to say. 2026 has already a lot to say. Now, why did I think that was very necessary? Her mentioning the mother. That's if this is not a fake letter. If they sent us, maybe they sent us false scoop. You know, there are people who can make up propaganda for you in order for them to peddle an idea. So if this is not a false scoop, right? If this is not a false scoop, Swazi's mother passed away. You can remember 2022. It was on Sunday, 24th April. Our beloved mother, Pastor Tandi Dlamini, went to be with the Lord. While we are saddened by her passing, we remain of good faith and courage as she was right. That she has fought a good fight and ran her race. As a family, we ask that you keep us in your prayers during this time. Further details regarding the celebration of life will follow in days to come, so forth and so forth. And so Swazi posted that on her socials. I think on Facebook, that's where you would see it. And so the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I remember speaking to a different pastor who was in ECG, and the parents had heard something, and this person did not. He was a pastor there, and he did not follow through that. Instead, he went and dedicated years and years, I think, years and years of his life. And when I spoke to him, he was not happy with, why did I leave my family in ministry to go and serve with this man? You know, they had that regret. They had that thing to say, I could have done this in that entire time when I was there busy feathering the goals of Papa and what. This is the thing that I could have been doing, but I was not doing that. But you see, I thought that was very interesting, and it reminded me of a verse in Matthew chapter number 10. Matthew chapter number 10, verse number 37. This is what it says. It says, and he, it actually starts in verse number 36. It says, a man's foes shall become from the members of his own household. So Jesus is talking about a period when truth would have made a division between family members, people of very close relationship. He says, and he that loves mother or father more than me is not worthy of me, right? And he that loves son and daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Now, if someone would say, Ricky, why are you reading that verse? Are you saying that Swazi is loving her parents more than doing ministry with Papa Bush? You see, notice the center of our love is what? It's Jesus. The center of our love is Jesus. He that loves mother or father more than me. Right? He that loves mother or father more than me. Now, because these people claim to be your father, your mother, now is Papa, this one is Mama, and it becomes that whole thing. So now, should you want to go and pursue ministry, and you have to think about Papa and Mama, Jesus says, it's not worthy of me. It's not worthy of me does not mean the person is not saved. Don't get it twisted. Don't get the wrong idea. It's not worthy of me, meaning your fellowship with him will be very limited. It doesn't mean you won't read the Bible and get revelation. No. It means you have a very limited sense of relationship with him. So even at that level of relationship, there's a devotion that we give to truth. Let alone spiritual parents. Of course, there is dedication towards teaching. Someone is teaching you truth and so forth. Doesn't mean that you just in and out as you desire and whatnot, and you are wasting their time. No. That does not mean that we can do that. Okay, just in case there are people who are very naughty in their head, they'll be thinking also they can do whatever they want. No. There is also a sense of devotion that's needed to a person that's teaching you. Point of the verse that the voice was pointing is that the allegiance that we most have, the allegiance that we hold dear, is Jesus. Listen to what he then says. He says, and he that takes not his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Now, what does that mean? Take up his cross. Take up his cross concerning what? What is this taking up of the cross and following Jesus? So the taking of the cross allows me to follow him effectively. So if the Bible makes a biblical recommendation for how you should do things, that's part of the cross. The Bible makes a recommendation. If you do not pick up your cross, meaning what is the truth that the Bible has told you to make a stand, okay, Swaz, yeah, we can't be singing songs about Papa Bush, you stand with Papa Bush. Papa Bush has issues with the government. You can't make such a stand and take up your cross. The two cannot be mutual. The two cannot be true. One will be a lie and the other will be Taking up this cross is following God's directive as it pertains to the Bible in every single day life. When the Bible says this is what truth is, how do you go about that thing that the Bible said was true? You're going to avoid it. Maybe you think about it, you come back to it. Which one is it? How do you take what the Bible recommends as truth from the moment you hear it? So you see, if we have a love for human relationships more higher than our allegiance to truth, will be compromised. And at that point, doesn't mean we are not born again. We do not have true fellowship within the sense of what he wants for us. We are here to further the message of the gospel. We are here to further the message of his kingdom. We are here to further the message of one who is king. I'm not an ambassador for my church. No, sir. I'm an ambassador for the kingdom of the Most High. And all that represent that, I, in allegiance with them, are my fellow laborers. I'm not a laborer with someone who's laboring for ECG. I don't know. I don't know what you're working on. I don't know what you're working on. Yeah, we are not working on the same. The itinerary is different. But I do hope that he has left to the service of the Most High. I definitely hope so. And for all those that were hoping to just, let this be a reminder. If your devotion is more to Papaha and Mamaha, your love is not centered on him. You are still divided. And I cannot speak to you as if we are speaking the same language. There's a difference. There's a divide. If it is more favorable, now listen to what verse 39 goes on to say. It says, he that finds his life shall lose it. So where did you find it? You found it in that when he gave advice for how to handle this, you took that route. But he that loses his life for my sake shall find it again. So there are people who refuse to let it go. They refuse. They have found a life here. They want to pursue with it. But they don't want to lose themselves to his advice. Self must pursue. Self must continue. And so what happens? You don't know what we are talking about. When we talk like that, you don't know. You have no idea. Every man makes his choice. And you are making all the wrong choices. Because you are constantly choosing man over him. Verse 40 then says, he that receives you receives me. And he that receives me receives him that sent me. So if a person has their God and they are sending you, their God is sending you. Even if you don't know. That's why I'm always against this thing of the God of so-and-so, the God of so-and-so. Why are you calling the God of so-and-so? Don't you know God? But where does that come? That comes because we are blinded by Papa and Mama. He that receives me has received him who sent me. You see? You've received. If Papa is serving the devil, you have received the devil who Papa is sending. Our center was always Jesus, not man. It's Ricky. Other episodes down in the pinned comments. I'm going to check you over there.